Hello guys, welcome to the video. So now we have movement of the camera. We can move forward, left and right, and also backwards. And next step would be to add rotation, so we can look around the scene over here. That will be pretty easy to do. We just need to make a focus point around which camera can rotate. We're gonna use a rotate around method. It will be really easy to do, honestly. So let's go to camera controller over here. Let's make a header, rotation details. Then we want to have a serialized field, private transform. Let's name it as something like focus point, maybe. Yeah, I guess this is good enough. Then we want to have a rotation speed. So serialized field, private float, rotation speed. And let's set it as something like 200 by default. All right, this should be enough. Now let's go and make a method, private void handle rotation. Inside of this method, we want to check if we do an input of the mouse. So I'm gonna do if input get mouse button, and mouse button is true when you hold in the button. Button down is true when you just press the button and it reached the lowest point possible, like when you sort of fully pressed the button. And mouse button up is true when you release the button, when it's like when it came back to original position. And we're gonna use mouse button just for when you hold in the button, you can sort of rotate around. And if you type a number 1 over here, it's gonna work for the right mouse button. Right mouse button for rotation. All right, let's open curly brackets, and over here first of all we want to have float horizontal rotation, and that's going to be equals to input get axis of mouse X. Make sure you type it in the same way as I do over here. This is very important. All right, if you misspell it, it's not going to work. Then we're gonna multiply it by rotation speed, and then we're gonna multiply it by time dot delta time. Then we need float vertical rotation equals to input get axis of mouse Y multiplied by rotation speed and multiplied by time dot delta time, just like that. Now we only need to do something simple here. We want to do transform rotate around, and we're gonna rotate around focus point. We're gonna type vector 3 dot up over here and then give it a horizontal rotation. We also need to do, we need to type focus point dot position. We also need to do a vertical rotation, but for vertical rotation I want to have a limit, so let's check it with the horizontal rotation first. All right, we're gonna go here and type handle rotation. Okay. Lastly, we want to make camera look at the focus point when we're rotating. If we don't do that, camera is going to rotate around the focus point, but we're not gonna see anything because we're not rotating the camera itself. This one is responsible for making camera rotate around. And then we also need to type transform look at focus point dot position. Okay. I guess we don't need a dot position here, do we? Yeah, we don't need a dot position. All right, so this is going to work. If you wonder what's going to happen if you don't do look at, you just comment out the line and try to see it. Okay, now let's save it. Let's go back to Unity. Let's make a 3D object so we can easily see it. I'm gonna do sphere focus point. Let me find this sphere. It is over here, like that. All right, this is good. Now I'm gonna give it some noticeable material so we can easily see it. Let's go to materials, and we can give it some emission red, maybe emission blue. Yeah, this is better. Let's make it smaller, something like 0.3. All right, now we're gonna take the main camera and we're gonna give it a focus point over here. Let's assign it and let's go to play mode. It's not going to be perfect because we still need to fix a couple of things. But for now, let's just try to move closer to the focus point, and also let's hold the right button on the mouse. Okay, I'm going to come closer with the keys, and if I'm holding the right button, I can rotate around the camera and check things here. It's a bit glitchy, don't worry about it, it's going to be fixed. As of now, we're just checking left and right rotation and interaction with the focus point itself. All right, so this works fine. Now we need to make focus point move together with the camera, because this is not okay. And also we need to add vertical rotation. Yeah, let's start by adjusting position of a focus point. It's going to be pretty easy to do. We want to go to the script, and simply over here in the update, we're going to do focus point dot position equals to transform position plus, and we need to bring it on a distance from the camera itself. So let's say here is the camera. We're going to get forward vector of the camera, and then we're going to multiply it by some value to sort of bring it far away from the camera itself. All right. Let's do this. Transform forward multiplied by 7. Just like that for now. Okay. Let's save it. Let's go back. Now, if we go to play mode, we're going to see that focus point going to be in front of the camera. All right, it's over there. And now I can click right button and rotate around the camera like so. And if I try to move the camera, it's going to move together with the focus point going to move together with the camera. All right. This is perfect. Now, there are a couple of things we need to fix. First of all, I would like to adjust focus point according to things I'm currently looking at, but that's going to be done later. As of now, let's make the vertical rotation. That's what we need to do now. All right, let's go to script over here, and let's make vertical rotation, because I want to show you something. We're going to type transform rotate around focus point dot position. This time we're going to type transform dot right as the axis, and as a rotation we can just type vertical rotation. That's it. Let's go back to Unity and let's see this. So we're going to go to play mode, going to hold the right button, and you can see I can rotate around the sphere vertically. And the main problem is that, first of all, I can look and see what is below the level, which I don't really like. I don't want player to see what is below the level. And also player can look at the sky and nothing is going to be there. So it's going to be just empty area over there. And more to that, if player does this, we can have this glitch like that. Because we vertically trying to rotate the camera. Once it reaches the highest point, it rotates back, and it sort of has an infinite loop of the glitch like that. You can move the game window over here, try to move it, and see what is happening with the camera here. Yeah, not very cool. So to fix that, we need to add vertical rotation and limitations for the rotation as well. Let's go to the script. Over here above, we want to make maybe a space, and then private float pitch, and then private float minimum pitch, and private float maximum pitch. I know the good values from experience. Let's type 5 and 85. This should be good. If you want, you can adjust it later on. Then we're going to go to handle rotation method, and over here we need to do something very simple. We're going to type pitch equals to mathf.clamp pitch minus vertical rotation, then minimum pitch and maximum pitch. And maybe let me move it over here like so. So what clamp does? Clamp sort of regulates the value, and it checks if this calculation over here is lower than the minimum value we set over here, then pitch will be equals to minimum value. If this calculation over here is going to be bigger than maximum pitch allowed, then this calculation is going to be equals to maximum pitch. And if this value is within minimum and maximum value, then it's going to be as it is. Basically, this one sort of limits the outcome to minimum and maximum value we set. So we're going to use it. Over here, we just need to do pitch minus transform Euler angles dot x. Very nice. Now let's save this and let's go and see the result. Gonna go to play mode. And now when we try to rotate around the camera vertically, we cannot do what we did before. You can see when I'm trying to go further with the rotation, I can have x maximum of 85, not more, because vertical rotation works on the x. If I try to go below, I cannot go below this level, which is sort of okay for me. If you like, you can adjust it. Wait, this pitch value should be visible. Let's go back. Let's do serialize field. Serialize field. Okay. Let's go back. And you can go to play mode and play with these values. Maybe you would like to have minimum of 35 on the x. Then you would not be able to rotate below this level. Like that. This is also acceptable. Yeah, that is up to you what you want to have here. Now something else we need to fix. I want to adjust position of the focus point. If I'm above the level and I, for example, look at the bridge over here, I want focus point to be over here. So when I'm rotating around the level, I'm rotating not around the focus point that is below the ground, but around the object I'm looking at. Good example, maybe this object over here. It's sort of in the center, but when I try to rotate the camera, I'm going to be further away from the object. From here, it's this close, but when I'm rotating, it's that far. So yeah, that's what we need to fix. It's pretty easy to do. Let's go to camera controller. Let's make a variable of, gonna do serialize field, private float, max focus point distance. And we're gonna make it equals to 15 by default. So this is the maximum focus point distance allowed. And then we're gonna bring focus point closer if we detect any object. If to be precise, we're gonna shoot a raycast from the camera. For example, camera stands here. All right. And we're gonna shoot a raycast from the camera forward. Then once we have a detection, we're gonna check what's the distance we have over here. Then we're gonna take the focus point and put it on the same distance as a distance of a raycast we have. In this way, it's gonna look like we're focusing on the object that is in front of the camera. Let's go to the script and let's make a method over here, private float, get focus point distance. Then we're gonna do a raycast. We did something like this before. It's pretty easy to understand. If physics.raycast from transform position into transform forward direction on a focus point, max focus point distance is detecting something. Wait, we need to add out raycast hit. So if we're detecting something, then we're gonna return hit distance. And if no, we're gonna return max focus point distance. And then over here, instead of number 7, we're gonna do get focus point distance. All right, now let's save this. Let's go back to Unity. And it's very important here, don't forget to remove collider from a focus point, because otherwise we're going to detect the focus point itself. Let's remove component and let's go to play mode. So now we have focus point on the ground over here, and it's not like we placed it there on the ground. It's just the focus point is placed on the same distance as a distance of a raycast that is detecting something, right? If we move around, for example, we can go to this part of the bridge and focus point will be adjusted, and you can rotate around the bridge like so. If you go to that part of the map, for example here, you can rotate around this object, and it looks nice and pretty. All right, so focus point is adjustable, helps us a lot. Later on, we will be able to switch it off over here. Let me find it. So we're going to switch off the mesh, and it's going to look like so, just like a regular camera. Very nice one, works very well for us. Lastly, I want to say that if I move the camera in the game window like that in the editor, it looks and feels a bit glitchy. Look at this. Yeah, I'm moving really fast and I have sort of this jittery movement of the camera. That happens only because I'm in the editor and I'm using OBS over here to record the video. So it's sort of my computer takes it hard, you know. But later on, once you have a build of the game, you will not have such glitches. More to that, if you try to make a full view of the game window, there will be no glitches like that. It works fine. Yeah, so you should know that it is only problem of the Unity editor, and once you make a build, there will be no glitches, so it's fine. Don't worry about this jittery movement over here. All right, now let's go to the next video, because we have something else to do. I'll see you there.